You know, there's something I've noticed as I've gotten older. Little things that never used to bother me suddenly feel like big hurdles. Like that afternoon slump that hits harder than it did a decade ago, or that dizzy spell when you stand up too fast. Have you ever felt that way? Maybe you've brushed it off as just part of aging, but what if I told you there's a simple, often overlooked culprit behind these changes? Something as basic as a glass of water. Today we're talking about dehydration, why it's so dangerous for seniors, and the sneaky signs that you might not be drinking enough. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've heard this before. But stick with me. This isn't just about drinking 8 glasses a day. It's about how our bodies change as we age, making dehydration a silent, serious threat. And the tricky part? The warning signs aren't always obvious. They creep up slowly, masquerading as normal aches or fatigue. By the time you realize something's wrong, it can already be affecting your health in ways you'd never expect. So, let's walk through this together. We'll cover 5 subtle signs that your body might be crying out for more fluids, and practical, doable steps to stay hydrated without it feeling like a chore. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll see why something as simple as sipping water can make all the difference in how you feel every day. Let's start with the first sign: fatigue that just won't quit. Now, we all get tired, especially as we age, but dehydration takes that fatigue to a whole new level. Imagine your body like a car engine. Without enough coolant, it overheats and sputters. Water is your body's coolant. When you're dehydrated, your heart has to work harder to pump blood. Your muscles get sluggish, and even your brain starts to fog. You might chalk it up to a bad night's sleep or a busy day, but often it's your body begging for hydration. Here's a tip. Keep a small glass of water by your favorite chair or next to the coffee maker. Every time you sit down or pour a cup of coffee, take a sip. It's not about guzzling a huge amount all at once. It's about small, consistent acts. And if plain water feels boring, try herbal tea or add a slice of lemon or cucumber for a refreshing twist. Now, the second sign is one you might not connect to dehydration at all: sudden dizziness when you stand up. You've probably felt it, that woozy, lightheaded moment when you rise from your chair or get out of bed too quickly. Many of us blame it on low blood pressure or just getting older, but dehydration plays a huge role here. When your fluid levels drop, your blood volume decreases, making it harder for your body to regulate blood pressure. That dizzy spell? It's your brain's way of saying, "Hey, we need more fluids. Stat." Let me share a story. My neighbor, Martha, loved tending her rose garden every morning. But last summer she started feeling dizzy every time she stood up from weeding. She blamed the heat, but even on cooler days, it kept happening. Turns out she wasn't drinking enough before heading outside. Her doctor explained that as we age, our sense of thirst diminishes. We might not feel parched, even when our bodies are desperate for water. So Martha started sipping a glass of water before stepping into the garden, and those dizzy spells gone. And that brings us to the third sneaky sign: dry mouth or bad breath. Now, this one seems obvious. If your mouth is dry, drink water, right? But here's the thing. By the time your mouth feels like sandpaper, you're already significantly dehydrated. Saliva production drops when we're low on fluids, and that dryness isn't just uncomfortable. It can lead to tooth decay, gum disease, or trouble swallowing pills. And bad breath? Bacteria thrive in a dry mouth, creating that unpleasant odor no one wants to talk about. The fix here is simple, but effective. Set gentle reminders. Maybe take a sip every time you finish a chapter in your book or during TV commercial breaks. And don't forget, foods like watermelon, cucumbers, or even a bowl of soup count toward your fluid intake. Hydration doesn't have to come from a glass alone. Now these first 3 signs, fatigue, dizziness, and dry mouth, are your body's early warning system. But there are two more sneaky signals we need to discuss, ones that might surprise you. And once you understand all the signs, you'll be equipped to take control of your hydration and your health. So let's keep this conversation going. You're right. It's easy to miss the signals our bodies send us, especially when they're disguised as everyday nuisances. But here's the good news. Once you know what to look for, you can take charge. So let's dive into the fourth sneaky sign of dehydration, one that might catch you off guard: feeling suddenly confused or irritable. Now, we've all had days where we're a bit foggy or out of sorts, but dehydration can amplify those feelings tenfold. Imagine your brain as a lush green garden. Without enough water, those vibrant plants start to wilt. Dehydration reduces blood flow to the brain, affecting everything from memory to mood. You might forget where you put your keys, struggle to focus on a crossword puzzle, or snap at a loved one over something small. And too often we blame it on having a senior moment or stress, when really, a glass of water could be the reset button. Take my friend George, for example. He's always been sharp as a tack, the kind of guy who remembers everyone's birthday and finishes the Sunday crossword in pen. But last winter, he started feeling foggy and short-tempered. His family worried it was something serious, but his doctor asked a simple question. How much water are you drinking each day? Turns out, George had cut back on fluids to avoid nighttime trips to the bathroom. Once he started sipping water throughout the afternoon and switching to herbal tea in the evening, his clarity and calm returned. Here's a trick. Pair hydration with activities you already enjoy. Drink a cup of water while reading the morning paper, or sip herbal tea during your favorite afternoon TV show. And if you're concerned about nighttime interruptions, try finishing your fluids an hour or two before bed. Small adjustments can make a big difference. Now, let's talk about the fifth and final sign, one that's hiding in plain sight: your trips to the bathroom. Or rather, the lack of them. When you're dehydrated, your body holds on to every drop of fluid it can, which means you might not urinate as often. And when you do, it's likely darker in color. Think apple juice instead of pale lemonade. Many of us don't pay attention to this, especially if we're not thirsty. But here's the thing. By the time you notice changes here, your body's already in a deficit. Let's break this down. Your kidneys are like master chemists, balancing fluids and filtering waste. Without enough water, they can't do their job properly. Toxins build up, and your urine becomes concentrated. Over time, this can lead to kidney stones or infections, both serious risks for seniors. But the solution isn't complicated. Make it a habit to check the color of your urine. Aim for a light, straw-like hue. And if you're not visiting the bathroom every 3 to 4 hours during the day, it's a sign to reach for that water glass a little more often. I'll admit, staying hydrated isn't always glamorous. It's easy to forget or to prioritize other things. But think of it this way. Water is the oil that keeps the engine of your body running smoothly. And just like a classic car, you deserve to be well maintained. So keep a pitcher of water with fresh mint or berries in the fridge. It's inviting and makes hydration feel special. Or set a gentle alarm on your phone as a nudge to pause and take a sip. Now, we've covered all 5 sneaky signs: fatigue, dizziness, dry mouth, confusion, and changes in urination. But here's what I want you to remember. Hydration isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Maybe today you'll drink 1 extra glass than yesterday. Maybe you'll swap that second cup of coffee for a decaf herbal tea. Every small choice adds up. And the payoff? More energy to enjoy your grandkids' visits, tend to your garden, or lose yourself in a good book. But before we wrap up, there's one more piece to this puzzle. Something just as important as recognizing the signs. It's about making hydration effortless, even on the days when life gets busy. So let's talk about simple, sustainable strategies to keep dehydration at bay, no matter what your day looks like. You know, the hardest part about staying hydrated isn't knowing what to do. It's figuring out how to make it stick in our daily routines. Life gets busy, even when we're retired. Between doctor's appointments, family visits, or just losing track of time while reading a good book, it's easy to forget about that glass of water sitting on the counter. But here's the secret. Hydration doesn't have to be a chore. With a few simple tweaks, you can turn it into something that feels as natural as breathing. Let's start with strategy number 1. Make water visible. Out of sight really is out of mind. My cousin Helen used to struggle with this. She'd forget to drink until she felt a headache coming on. Then she bought a clear, marked water bottle with lines for each hour of the day. She fills it in the morning and keeps it on the kitchen table, where she does her crossword puzzles. Every time she glances at it, she's reminded to take a sip. By noon, she's halfway through, and by dinner, she's finished. No guilt, no stress, just a gentle visual cue. You don't need a fancy bottle, though. A mason jar with a ribbon tied around it, or a pitcher on the windowsill, works just as well. The goal is to keep it where you'll see it often, like next to your reading glasses or TV remote. Now, strategy 2. Eat your water. That's right. Hydration doesn't always come from a glass. Foods like cucumbers, oranges, celery, and even yogurt are packed with water. My friend Lou swears by his daily bowl of chicken soup, not just for the soul, but for the fluids. It's like a warm hug that keeps me hydrated, he says. And if you've got a sweet tooth, try freezing blended watermelon into popsicles. They're refreshing, hydrating, and a fun treat on a hot afternoon. Even a simple snack like apple slices with a sprinkle of cinnamon can add to your fluid intake without feeling like work. But what if you're someone who just doesn't like water? I get it. Plain water can feel bland, especially if you've spent years enjoying coffee or tea. Here's a tip. Infuse it with flavor. Drop a few frozen berries into your glass, add a sprig of fresh mint, or even stir in a teaspoon of 100% fruit juice for a hint of sweetness. My neighbor Edna adds a slice of ginger to her water, says it gives her a little zing and helps with her arthritis. The key is to experiment until you find something that makes you want to reach for that glass. Now, let's tackle the elephant in the room. Nighttime bathroom trips. Many of us cut back on fluids in the evening to avoid waking up, but that can backfire, leaving you dehydrated by morning. The solution? Front-load your hydration. Try drinking most of your fluids earlier in the day, say, between breakfast and late afternoon. Then, after dinner, switch to small sips if you're thirsty. Herbal teas like chamomile or peppermint can be soothing and hydrating without overloading your bladder. And here's a pro tip. Add a tiny pinch of salt to your water once a day. It helps your body hold on to the fluids longer, so you stay hydrated without constant trips to the loo. Just check with your doctor first if you're on a low-sodium diet. Let's not forget strategy 3. Pair hydration with habits you already love. Every time you take your morning pills, drink half a glass of water. Sip while you wait for the kettle to boil, or during commercial breaks of your favorite show. My Aunt Margaret keeps a cup by her knitting basket. She takes a sip every time she finishes a row. It's become such a habit, she doesn't even think about it anymore. Now, let's take a step back. We've talked about the 5 sneaky signs: fatigue, dizziness, dry mouth, confusion, and changes in urination, and shared practical ways to stay ahead of them. But here's what I really want you to take away. Your body is resilient. It's been with you through decades of adventures, challenges, and joys. Giving it the hydration it needs isn't about adding another task to your day. It's about honoring the incredible life you've built and ensuring you've got the energy to keep enjoying it. So let's make a pact. Start small. Today, maybe you'll add 1 extra glass of water to your routine. Tomorrow, you'll toss a few cucumber slices into your lunch. By this time next week, you might notice your skin feeling softer, your head clearer, or that afternoon slump, lifting a little sooner. And if you stumble, that's okay. Hydration isn't a race. It's a gentle, steady rhythm. Before I go, I'd love to hear from you. What's your favorite way to stay hydrated? Do you have a go-to snack or a trick that's worked for years? Share it in the comments below. Your wisdom might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear. And if this video resonated with you, hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. We're here to share tips, stories, and encouragement to help you thrive in this chapter of life. Remember, friend, every sip is a step toward feeling a little brighter, a little stronger, and a little more like you. Here's to your health and to savoring all the moments ahead. Cheers.